Hey guys, Ruminating Reaper here. So as you can see, I'm outside the cinema, a lovely spring day, Easter is over, let's go. Yep, it's Super Mario Galaxy time. Been kind of looking forward to this. I quite enjoyed the first one. Obviously it was like nothing amazing, but it was a perfectly fun time with quite colourful animation. So I'm hoping this will be good as well. Hopefully they've, listened to some of the criticisms of that first one as well. Hopefully get a better story, hopefully stronger characterization. I've got my fingers crossed, but the only way to find out if they actually have is to head in, get some snacks, and get seated for the Super Mario Galaxy movie. So I've got my popcorn here with the Cadbury Buttons toppers and a Sprite, ready for the Mario Brothers latest big screen adventure. Woohoo! So, the Super Mario Galaxy movie. I'm back from seeing it. This is once again directed by Aaron Horvath and Michael Jelenic, and also written by Matthew Fogel, writer of the first film, and also Minions: The Rise of Gru. Now, obviously, the first one came out and was an undisputed smash, crossed the $1 billion mark with ease, and went on to become one of the highest grossing animated movies ever. And so, a sequel was inevitable, and well, here we are 3 years later with that inevitable sequel. And I'd hope that this time around they'd address some of the criticisms the first faced for its narrative and pacing, and hopefully deliver an improved experience. But does the film deliver on addressing the criticisms of the first movie's narrative? Let's find out. So in the film, after saving Brooklyn and the Mushroom Kingdom, Mario and Luigi have been able to bring their services as plumbers to the Mushroom Kingdom and beyond. But they're soon called back into adventure when Rosalina, Princess of the Cosmos and adoptive mother of the Lumas, is kidnapped by Bowser Jr., who intends to use her power for total universe domination, with a view to also freeing his father, Bowser, so they can rule as father and son. And so Mario, Luigi and Peach, along with new companion Yoshi, journey across the galaxy to put a stop to Bowser Jr.'s plans and free Rosalina. So, if you've been online at all the past week, the discourse around this film has been pretty insufferable, with extremes both positive and negative, and a lot of for the fans descriptors being thrown around. And here I am, sat here in the middle of all of it, and honestly, the film's fine. Not as bad as its detractors think, nor as good as the fans think either. It's one that if you go in with your expectations set accordingly, Mario movie from the people behind the Minions, you might just have a reasonable time. So I will say right out of the gate, there is actually a fair amount here to enjoy, especially with regard to its technical craft, not least the animation, which is absolutely stellar. Genuinely some of the best animation to come from Illumination. Like, they have really come on in that department in the last few years, and this just solidifies that. I mean, the sheer majesty of this vast galaxy is brought to life with such colour and vibrance. It is just an absolute feast for the eyes. And of course, these worlds are packed full of expressive characters and plenty of Easter eggs for fans to pick up on, plus some fluid, fast-paced, high-energy action scenes that really faithfully translate the experience of playing the games for a screen. And there's some actually really interesting stylistic flourishes sprinkled throughout as well, notably with Rosalina's storybook, Bowser's puppet show, and even at one point an anime inspired sequence. Like, there is a lot here to enjoy. It's all complemented by yet another banger score from Brian Tyler, bringing those motifs from the games once again to the film world. And it does have its some quite amusing gags sprinkled throughout as well that did make me chuckle. So, all in all, it is an audiovisual treat that, young kids and die-hard Mario fans will really get a kick out of. Unfortunately, though, yeah, the narrative suffers quite a bit in comparison. Obviously, this was the big issue with the first film, and that issue persists here. It's frustrating because there are the bones of a really interesting narrative here. There are some quite interesting setups for character arcs. Perhaps most notably Peach's arc of, discovering her place in the universe and where she really comes from. That's actually really interesting and does deliver some of the best and most emotional moments of the whole film. There are also some other quite fun arcs sprinkled throughout here as well, notably Mario struggling with his feelings for Peach, and also a fun little father arc for Bowser. And to be fair, once again, the voice actors all do a really solid job. Chris Pratt is fine as Mario. He does his job, but again, the miscasting does kind of stick out because, the fact he's overshadowed by, like, everyone else. Anya Taylor-Joy, once again, brings that real sense of agency to Peach. Charlie Day brings laughs as the quite timid Luigi. Donald Glover is clearly having a ball as Yoshi. No dialogue, just noises, and he's clearly having a blast. But once again, Jack Black as Bowser is the standout. He's funny, he's menacing, and also kind of tragic as well. And especially fun when paired with Benny Safdie, who does a great job as the absolute little shit that is Bowser Jr. Yeah, they're all great. It's just a shame the narrative never really gives them the chance to truly shine, because yeah, it is so jam packed with stuff. There are so many Easter eggs and narrative detours that kind of just happen because plot and not because it fits the characters and the journey they're on. And yeah, it all moves at just such a breakneck pace that it barely gets any room to breathe. And it means that the quite interesting character arcs never get the chance to be fully explored beyond the surface level. And it's not even just Mario stuff this film is packed with either. Like, there's just straight up Fox McCloud from the Star Fox games. In this, that's not a spoiler, they announced this, like, before the movie came out. I will say, though, Glenn Powell is such an inspired choice for this role. He really brings his usual charisma, and it almost comes as no surprise to learn that he himself actually pushed to play this role on screen. Yeah, he's having the time of his life, and I can only hope we get a proper Star Fox movie. And so, with all this stuff the narrative has to cram into the 98-minute runtime, well, someone has to draw the short end of the stick, and unfortunately, that someone is Rosalina. Yeah, she is left pretty much to the sidelines for the entire runtime. There are long stretches where she's just, like, gone from the narrative completely, but when she is on screen, she's nothing more than a damsel in distress. And that's a shame, because obviously Brie Larson being such a Nintendo superfan, this was clearly a dream role for her. And I will say, her passion does shine through in her performance with what she has to work with. It's just a shame that what she has to work with is very little. Hopefully she gets more of a chance to shine in next film. Fingers crossed. And I think this kind of brings me on to the big issue here. The film is devoted to pleasing the fans to a fault. I mean, the final act here is plenty fun. The action here is thrilling and does deliver some satisfying emotional moments. But the problem is, it's almost kind of undercut by its insistence on, fan service and pleasing the fans at every turn. Like, there are points in the climax of the film here, and indeed throughout the film in general, where, like, major plot beats, like, major narrative turns happened because of these fan servicey Easter egg moments rather than organic character development. And it does feel like it kind of undermines it a bit, and that is a shame because, again, it does kind of deliver a satisfying enough climax overall, but you kind of can't help but shake the feeling that, that they don't have much faith in the narrative to do the heavy lifting. Hey, who knows, maybe in the third film they'll finally fix the issue. Fingers crossed. And oh yeah, that third film is definitely happening. I mean, this thing is making bank at the moment and will more than likely cross the $1 billion mark. You bet your ass we are seeing a third film. I just hope that when it happens, they finally do address the criticisms. Overall, the Super Mario Galaxy movie has enough colourful animation, fast-paced action sequences, and Easter eggs to remain an entertaining enough time, but it's held back by an overstuffed narrative that never truly gives its characters room to breathe. Out of 10, the Super Mario Galaxy movie gets a 6. So, let me know down in the comments, have you seen the Super Mario Galaxy movie? What did you think of it? What did you make of it in comparison to the first film? And did it please you as a Mario fan? I'd definitely like to hear that perspective. Would you like to see a Star Fox movie? And do you hope that the third film finally addresses the story criticisms? Let me know all that down in the comments. Don't forget to hit the thumbs up button if you enjoyed. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button if you are new. And don't forget to turn on post notifications so you don't miss an upload.